Hey, this is Jonathan at Powder7 Ski Shop, and I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about choosing the right ski binding. So whether you're somebody that chooses on color or never gives it a second thought, or likes to nerd out about tech specs like elastic travel and stand height, it's definitely a part of the setup that you still want to get right and spend some energy towards picking the right thing for you. The first thing we'll jump into about bindings is just the binding categories. And we'll kick that off with the main category, which is downhill or resort alpine bindings. These give you the best benefit when it comes to downhill performance and skiability, as well as the best for releasability to help not only ensure a great skiing experience, but also help reduce the risk of injury in the case of a crash or a fall. The second category of bindings is our lightweight alpine touring bindings. They're on the opposite end of the spectrum, and they're more focused on trying to go uphill so then you can ski in the backcountry, whereas those downhill bindings are more focused on ski performance when going down. And then our last category is 50-50 hybrid, or what we call free tour bindings. They let you go uphill through the method of something like pins or the traditional frame binding, but they also let you click in at the heel and the toe just like your traditional resort bindings, so you get the best skiing experience, all the safety, but also the ability to get into the backcountry. Once you've decided on what category of binding is most appropriate for you and the type of skiing you're generally doing, there's still a couple of other things you want to keep in mind. The first of which is din setting. You'll often find that on the binding, and basically what the din setting is the number that determines how easily or difficult it is for you to come out of your bindings in the event of a crash. You'll just want to make sure that's adjusted based on your skier type, your height and your weight, and other things. The second consideration is boot binding compatibility. Different bindings had different levels of compatibility for different types of boots, so you'll just want to make sure that your boot works with whatever binding you're choosing. That part can be a little bit tricky to get right, but it's definitely something that you'll want to account for when choosing your binding. So once you've knocked out the main considerations with choosing a binding, category of binding you're looking for, the din range that you need, and the compatibility with your boot, it's time to get into a couple of the more unique features that pop up within the bindings. For example, some bindings might offer you a scraper rail to get ice off your boot before step-in. You'll have some bindings that come with a feature like a turntable heel for added performance on the downhill, and some bindings will just make the process of stepping in and out super easy by giving you a big platform to put your pole in to get out of that when you're down at the base. Once you've considered those things, there's some other factors as well, making sure you find a binding within your budget, making sure that the brake size for that binding fits your ski, and maybe most importantly, or at least the most fun of all, finding a binding that is a color you like and is going to look sweet on your new setup. Perfect. So once you've nailed down the basics, you can also get into some of the nitty-gritty tech specs. Everything we've talked about so far is definitely the things you should consider, and maybe all you'll ever need to know about a binding to pick the right thing. But if you want to get a little nerdier per se, you can jump into things like stack height, which is basically just how high off the ski the toe and the heel are, which dictates a little bit of your stance. A low stack height versus a high stack height have slightly different performance characteristics, and you might find that you like one more than the other. In addition to that, and maybe more importantly, a lot of these bindings offer what's called elastic travel, which is basically the ability for the binding to let the boot move while also still retaining it. The more you have, the more retention ability you have for aggressive skiing, which is why a lot of people prioritize a high elasticity binding. It's also why, when we talk about alpine touring bindings, they often have less downhill performance because their ability to give you a large amount of elastic travel is limited, both at the heel and the toe. Once you've gone through all those considerations, you'll be more than prepared to pick your own binding. That said, we can't stress it enough. So many brands are making great products across all binding categories that as long as you're picking a binding that's right for you in terms of budget, ski style, the type of skiing you do, din range and boot compatibility, you'll be able to pick a great product no matter what you choose. If you have questions or want to tech out or nerd out about this stuff, we'd love to help you out on that. And you can visit us either online at powder7.com or here at our world headquarters at Golden, Colorado to look at all the different product categories we have with bindings and help you choose the right one. With that said, have a great season, good luck with picking your binding, and we look forward to talking to you.